complaint, only celebration, only joy, because it's all that they want and all that they could offer. The public itself is satisfied too. We want to see that. So we're quite good for now. We've overcome all the challenges and we're on the path to success.
That's right, and I know you're a gentleman, so you're always working really hard on various issues. I mean, I don't want to say I follow you, but I mean, I notice a lot of your posts on Facebook. You're always addressing issues, whether it be day or whether it be night. So I know there's a period of time for the PSA president to work. Once there is an issue, you're always on top of it, and that is extremely admirable. And I mean, that's what the people are generally looking for, that they have someone they can reach, at a moment's notice.
Certainly. I believe that the time has come for persons to be able to get representation on the spot. So, for far too long, representation was almost like by distant learning. You have to wait to get it. Now we're trying to get it to you. And we're not as fast as we would like to be, but certainly we will be there with the help of the people.
And I mean, that is true. And I mean, definitely, everything is a work in progress, and nothing really happens instantly, but it is a good step. And the steps that are being taken bit by bit certainly does achieve a lot, because I'm sure the persons who have received that assistance from you with various requests, I know a lot of them would certainly be pleased, with your responses and the further assistance that you'll be able to provide them in your capacity.
Certainly, and it's definitely an encouragement for others, because once you have a satisfied customer or member, you will tend to go and spread the word. And I've been there and I'm satisfied. Likewise, the converse is also true. If you have a dissatisfied member, you will also spread the word, bringing a sense of rejection by people. But we really want to make more members satisfied and more, and so we have gotten ourselves involved in the sharing issue, which is one of the hottest issues right now in Trinidad and Tobago. One where a worker in the right frame of mind will take off a job while carrying out her duties and place in a psychiatric ward for evaluation and subsequently, treatment, which has devastated her to some extent, caused a serious level of concern by public officers regarding what is just and what is unjust. So that's one of the hottest issues right now that we have just swooped down on. It's quite an interesting matter.
And also too, Mr. Duke, as you mentioned, the Cheryl Miller issue and the concern of the employees. I mean, also following the case closely, and some of her fellow co-workers, they are also of the view that, if that occurred to something that could happen to any one of them, so it's that much important to, stand up for the rights and stand up for what they believe is wrong.
Certainly, because we see it as a foot in the door technique by the employer to introduce a new method, a new way of culling, as they will say in agriculture, where you remove the unproductive animals from productive animals. You go for the culling, or what in Hitler's Germany we refer to as the blue-eye boys. People are looking for a better species, a better race, a hybrid public officer, and these tend to be quite prejudicial and biased in their approach towards those who they do not regard as an inner circle. And in the haste to create that unique and super breed race, they are trampling upon the rights of the people. Cheryl Miller was definitely one of those persons. She's taken off her job, incarcerated in a psychiatric ward for 15 days. Her colleagues began to protest because they would have witnessed and recognized unfair, it's downright brutal, it's criminal, it's evil. The PSA got involved. We had a battery of lawyers. We took out a habeas corpus against the state. She was released into the family. The case is still being argued. We went there today, and we had the defendant, which represents the state, was arguing that it's okay for a mental health officer to enter an office and find someone there and take that person to St. Anne's or to the psychiatric ward, simply because that person does not fit into what the management would call normal behavior. Whereas the lawyer on the victim side argued that the process that one used to take her off a job was wrong. And even if something is wrong with her, we have done our check, which was as late as yesterday, and our checks would reveal that there's nothing wrong with her. I would say in an average, the average man will score about 60 to 70% on one of those psychoanalysis tests. But for her, her marks was about 80 to 90%, which showed that she was quite aware of her surroundings, quite alert, and there's nothing wrong with her. However, over time, they have fed a lot of drugs in our system, and we have done a toxicology report, which will be made known, and the court will have to deal with that also. Those drugs, well, the side effects, and some level of compensation will be made to her because it was a willful act. To date, the authorities are still unapologetic. They feel to themselves that they are right, and they are trying by stealth and by unorthodox means to have her come back to the hospital where they could finish a wicked job that they have started. As the PSA, we are saying we will not allow this foot in the door technique on this one. We will not allow Sharon Miller's case to be used as a test case where they will redefine a new way of discipline among public officers. We say that our regulations, our agreements are quite clear, and if someone is not behaving in a way that is proper for the workplace, you could institute disciplinary proceedings, or you could ask the EAP, the Employee Assistance Program, to become involved in trying to talk to the person so the person could perhaps give in to such a request and have a full examination done. And so rid the civil service of any unwanted behavior.
Or for rather, what they would deem on their own as unwanted.
Unwanted, precisely. Exactly. But the means of creating a supreme or transformed public service is quite unorthodox, it's quite wicked, it's quite evil, and I would say somewhat barbaric. It tramples upon the rights of people regardless of their name. 24 years, this woman has worked in the civil service, even the yeoman service. She rose up to the ranks, now an accounting assistant, have been working perfectly all throughout the day. And all of a sudden, they will seize upon this woman at the end of the working day, almost 4 o'clock, remove her forcibly against her will, incarcerate her, fed us dangerous drugs in the system, drugs that should be treated for persons who are psychotic. How on earth can that not be?
And also to Mr. Duke, I want to go back to another point that you made with regards to the unfortunate incarceration of Sharon Miller, with what the state determined as they were right to have her instituted. It seems to me a case of, you're just assuming, because if what they are saying is they believe they are justified, then that means that they can rightfully just pick up anyone who they see fit. They might even walk up to you and say, so we don't look precisely fit and institute us into the psychiatric institution. Because I mean, if that was the case, there are a lot of homeless individuals in and around Port of Spain, and some of them you can clearly see they have some mental issues, but they are they're walking the streets carefree, so it doesn't really correspond with what they're saying. So I'm pretty sure that your case would have been a lot stronger presented than theirs, because it doesn't really correspond to the average thinking Trinidadian who is looking at the case.
Yeah. So certainly, I think our case is built on solid rock. Can't go no further down. They only go up, because it's built on the principle that our Constitution provides for our freedom, and you cannot restrain or limit someone's freedom against their will without a just cause. She was no threat to her colleagues, no threat to her environment. I mean, all eyewitness report would show that she was at the desk working quietly when they assumed the role of mental health officers and other persons associated with that psychotic ward, and they would have removed her forcibly and placed her in a mental institution for evaluation and then treatment. That is atrocious, it's downright evil, and it's something that we're going to stamp out its entirety, so as to ensure the public service is free from those ills in the future. Public officers can work with a certain level of calm assurance that they will not be interfered with.
Definitely, because I mean, I think that is certainly what everybody wants. Nobody would like to work in an environment where you're uncertain as to what could happen to you tomorrow. You're doing your job, and innocently something just happens to you without any rhyme or reason. That's certainly something to be a genuine concern.
Today you're here working, tomorrow you're gone. Who's next? Where would this take place, and how many would they take next time around? If they take one today, how much will they take tomorrow? Is it 5? Is it 10, 20? And if this precedent is allowed to be legitimized by the justice system of our land, it's a sad day for all human beings in Trinidad and Tobago, and much less by wide extension the earth. Because they could just reach and say, look, you're not operating right. I want to evaluate you. By the time you do evaluation, they give you some drugs in the system. So that we found you to be schizophrenic. We found you to be
unstable, etc.
Yeah, unstable. We found you to be dangerous. And you have no recourse. So I want to tell all public officers out there to be on the alert for anything that is untoward, anything that you feel is wrong. Sound the alarm, wave the red flag, get your PSA's attention. And once you have our attention, you could be sure that we will be on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Duke, for taking the time to give us some insight onto the Sharon Miller issue and also to the latest information. And before you go, I just want to know if you can give us one more piece of information as for the hearing today. What is the next motion, or when, let's say, what the next hearing or the next court matter would be ongoing in this issue?
Well, I think the next hearing is the 3rd of May. The lawyers have been given until the 30th of April to submit particular viewpoint on Section 15 of the Mental Health Act, which is the act under which the defendant or the state is claiming that they have removed her from office. So both sides are going to give some expressions on that, what their views are. Our side obviously is going to say that the Mental Health Act Section 15, under which they removed Sharon Miller, was inappropriately used. And the other side is going to argue and say, look, it was appropriately used. And so by the 30th of April, you have to make those final submissions. And by the 3rd of May, we go back to court to hear the matter.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Mr. Duke, for providing us with that valuable information, and of course, choosing us here at PSC Radio to relay the information first. We are certainly grateful that you have visited us, and for those of you that were listening, that was the PSC president himself, Mr. Watson Duke, giving the latest on the Sharon Miller issue, as well as encouraging all public servants, if there, as you mentioned, if there's anything untoward or you feel maybe that your rights are being trampled on for any reason, then you do have the right to question it within legal grounds and within the relevant means to have stuff like that being looked at, because as he rightfully says, no one from the highest to the lowest, no one wants their rights taken away from them for no justifiable reason. No matter where you're working, you can be an executive, it can be a garbage man, it can be picking up garbage on the side of the road as an occupation. You don't want anyone to just come and swoop you up from your job and say, okay, well, I don't believe that you are mentally stable, so we're going to lock you up here and there and give you X, Y, and Z, and no questions about it.
So I hope the folks over there keep listening and keep enjoying this radio station. It was built with the members in mind. From time to time, we're going to have some provocative discussions and know your views. You could call in and text in and Facebook message in and so on. So you're all locked in.
That's right. And Mr. Duke, before you go, I just want to remind the listeners and of course the viewers on YouTube about the Public Service Association's program each and every Sunday. Just give them a little plug and some information.
Well, every Sunday on CNMG, which is CTV, you could track it on I can't remember the website, but it's on a website. Just look for CNMG TV Trinidad. You could find the website live and you'll be able to see what it is. On every Sunday from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. That's Trinidad and Tobago time. I'm not sure where you're listening from, but that's our time. At present, now it's now 1:42, so you can have an idea as how far, how close you are to the time. It's a program entitled You and I on PSA, one created with a membership in mind, where the membership are allowed to interact with their president and executive officers on issues that matter. This week, Sunday, we're looking a little bit at this matter more in depth, having the membership views, calling, give their views, exploring it a little bit. What does this mean insofar as disciplinary measures are concerned in the civil service, telling persons a little bit more about their rights as workers and employees. It's very interesting, very interesting. I think all members should try and tune in every Sunday on CNMG TV. It's from 12:30 to 1:30, and I'm sure DJ Mike will tell you the exact website you can tune into and find it live wherever you are in the world. Thank you again.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Otilo. We have a very good afternoon. And of course, thank you so much for spreading that information. First, we'll definitely, log on with that information. So for those of you that are tuned in, that was the Public Services Association president himself, Mr. Watson, who giving all the latest information on the Cheryl Miller case and the Cheryl Miller issue, as they have just returned from the High Court, as you mentioned. The next court hearing will be the 3rd of May, and of course they have until April 30th for the both sides, being the state and of course the legal team representing Ms. Miller, to present their the relevant documents. So I want to thank the PSA president once again, and you all don't forget about You and I on PSA each and every Sunday. CNMG, that's CCTV, from 12:30 to 1:30. I'm gonna give you some more information on that a little bit later on, as it is just about 15 minutes to the hour of 2 o'clock. We're going to continue with some more music here. Back in Times Thursday session continues. We're going to jump inside some David Rudder with the most appropriate song right now. This one is called Madness. Keep it locked.